Hi everyone, this is Narene's Live with MS. I am Nareen, and it's again time for Hump Day Hurdles. And during my travels, I definitely missed this day, especially because I was just like, oh my god, there are so many things that I could talk about. But with that being said, I do want to talk about something that I don't know how many people actually have uh, been exposed to, but it is something that I have noticed happens with me quite often. And it's something again that has to do with my legs, I should say. And it pretty much impacts one leg more than the other, and as you know, my left leg is obviously the weaker one. And so this one is has to do with the way that my leg tends to act normally. So and considering that this happened, um, it was continuously happening when I was at the gym today. um, I started focusing on exercising this one body part, just because I actually feel like it's I'm going to use a pun here, and I hope you understand the pun once I explain everything. Lost its touch. And what I mean by that is the fact that on my left leg, um, it's becoming very hard to make sure that my heel is actually grounded, is actually touching the ground, or at least putting pressure on the ground. This happens very often when I'm at the gym. And today I was actually doing upper body, and the one thing that kept happening was you know my left leg was pretty much on its tiptoe while I was trying to do any pulling, anything with a machine. And that became a little bit of an issue because obviously I wasn't first of all distributing the weight evenly along my leg, along my foot. And of course that is one of the reasons why my foot ends up facing the wrong way. It does all of the different things that it's not supposed to do, especially when I'm walking or standing or sitting. And it became something that I was constantly focusing on. And every time, let's say, I got up from my seat, um, I was focusing on walking just on my heels, right? And and it was relatively easy using my right leg. Can't say the same thing about my left leg. And it kind of ended up becoming something that I was maybe putting way too much focus on, and totally forgot about why I'd gotten up in the first place, why I was walking. um, and ended up sitting back down. But um, it was one of those things where I realized that you know I have to actually put some conscious effort into making sure that my heel, regardless of whether my toes are on the ground or not, or at least my heel is putting the amount of pressure that it needs to um, on you know on the ground, because it's definitely making me it's definitely making me bend a little more towards one side. um, I remember even in the gym I sat on an exercise ball, and the entire time I was almost feeling like my left leg was just going to slide out from under me. and I was going to, of course, end up in a heap on the floor. But thankfully, that did not happen. But that was something that actually made me feel very vulnerable, also. So, that is one thing that I'm going to work on, especially, and considering that I am doing certain stretches, certain exercises, um, once I get out of the gym, so that it does not end up being just the 1 hours, the 1 hour plus however many minutes that I spend warming up. It's not just that I do pretty much my all of my exercising or all of my activity in one day, that I kind of space it out, and sure, the rest of the day outside of the gym will not have exercises that are as strenuous or as uh, you know hard on my body as maybe the gym is. I will still ensure that you know I am trying to get my left foot grounded as much as possible. But with that being said, do you experience something similar, or do you have any thoughts about what I might be able to do, or what I might be able to practice to make sure that you know I have better results with making sure that my left heel is grounded um, as much as possible? And this is, of course, coming in from someone who you know never really thought that that was going to be possible, that you know that my heel just does not want to stay on the ground. It literally feels, and I'm saying that almost half as a joke, because it literally feels like while I'm walking on you know while I'm walking practically barefoot, most of the time I can actually feel my right leg making full contact with the floor, whereas on my left side I actually feel like I'm maybe wearing a heel, because it's only the top part of my foot where I've got the two balls, and then um, the toes that are actually making contact with the floor and not my heel. So that is what I have for this Hump Day Hurdle today. So I hope you do share your insights, do give your input, so that we can start the conversation. And with that said, I hope you're having a great Wednesday, and um, have a great night.